Biodiversity. Why more kinds of life makes nature strong. You step onto a trail after a storm, and the park feels alive again. Birds argue, bees hustle, tiny mushrooms pop from damp logs. We're talking about biodiversity and how it keeps ecosystems healthy. In a few minutes, you'll explain why more kinds of life make nature tougher and what threatens that. Here's the simple version. An ecosystem is a neighborhood of life plus its place. Everything connects through food, shelter, and helpful partnerships. Biodiversity means variety of life in a place, more kinds of living things. Compare it to a team with a deep bench. Backups keep the game going. When there's variety, the system is more stable, less likely to crash. It's also more resilient, meaning it can bounce back after trouble. One layer is species diversity, the number of different species in an area. A meadow with many flowers, insects, and birds has high species diversity. Another layer is genetic diversity, the variety of genes within one species. If some oak trees resist a disease, the whole oak population has a safety net. With many kinds of life, more jobs get done, so productivity rises. Productivity means how much living stuff an ecosystem makes and supports. More plant types feed more herbivores, which feed more predators. Everyone eats. Pollination gets stronger with more biodiversity too. Pollination is when animals move pollen so plants can make seeds. A yard with different flowers hosts bees, butterflies, and beetles that all help. Decomposers, organisms like fungi and bacteria, break dead stuff into nutrients. Those mushrooms after the storm are recycling, feeding the soil for new growth. Some species play especially big roles. We call them keystone species. A keystone species has an outsized role keeping the ecosystem structure in place. Sea otters eat sea urchins, which saves kelp forests that shelter tons of life. Rainforests often have the highest biodiversity on land. Layer upon layer of plants creates endless homes and food sources. But variety can shrink fast when habitats are damaged. The biggest driver of habitat loss is deforestation, cutting down forests. Fewer trees means fewer homes, less food, and broken connections. Invasive species, outsiders that spread fast, can push natives out. Picture a pond where one introduced plant carpets the surface, blocking light. Climate change shifts temperatures and rainfall, which alters habitats. Coral reefs bleaching and species moving uphill are both signals. When partners help each other, called mutualism, biodiversity usually grows. Ants guarding acacia trees and getting nectar back is a win-win. Quick recap. Biodiversity is variety at the species and genetic levels, which boosts stability, resilience, and productivity. It depends on roles like pollination, decomposers, and keystone species, plus connections like mutualism, and it's threatened by deforestation, invasives, and climate change. Notice the living mix in your neighborhood this week, and you'll start seeing the web.